In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to fly a falcon to the lure. Now, before we get into how to swing a lure, we first have to look at what is a lure. Lures are designed to mimic the prey of the bird. Birds of prey can gain and lose fitness really quite quickly. So if you've had your hawk molting for the past 2 months, it will have lost all of its previous fitness. We then can't go out and ask the prey, can you take it easy on this bird because he's not got much fitness? No, they're fighting for their lives. So it would be very difficult for that hawk to come out of that molt and go straight into hunting. So we use the lures to train and build fitness, and it's kind of like mimicking hunting but in a more controlled environment. We can start off nice and easy with the birds and allow them to slowly build up that fitness while still in their minds thinking they're somewhat hunting. Then we could take them back out once they've built up a lot of that fitness and get them to hunt for real. There are several different types of lure. Drag lures are commonly used. Typically you would use a rabbit pelt or a hare pelt, and they're just dragged along the floor, allowing the bird to go and chase it down. And that's used a lot with hawks and eagles. There's also a row crow, which is robotic crow. It's like a remote control aeroplane, but everything is internal and it's disguised as a crow. And that can be used to train the birds to get them ready for pursuit falconry. So when you allow your falcon to go and chase things like corvids around. And that can start off flights nice and easy for the bird whilst it's still gaining fitness. It can be a nice easy kill for the bird, and then you can make it more difficult over time and get higher and higher until the bird is ready to chase the real thing. In this video though, I'm going to be showing you how to use a swing lure, which, as well as being used for building fitness with falcons, is also used for display falconry. Now, if you are just a hunting falconer and you're not interested in doing displays, I think this video is still worth watching because a swing lure is really good at building a lot of fitness with a falcon. So before we start swinging the lure and flying it to a falcon, we have to know how to hold it properly. This is my lure and I keep it wrapped up like this. I don't just wind it round like that. I have a special way of winding it up so that it allows me to unravel it without it getting tangled up. And I've got a really long line on my lure. Some people have a much shorter line and some people have a much longer line. It's kind of just up to you and what you're comfortable with. And also the way that you hold the line differs from falconer to falconer. How I do it is I hold my lure handle in my left hand, and then I pull it out to just about wider than my body, and I loop it around my little finger. And I keep doing that until I've gathered up all of the line, leaving myself a lure that when I hold my hands out dangles sort of towards my knee. Now this is a good length because it means I can swing it without it hitting the ground, but it also means that I can throw it nice and far out away from my body so that it doesn't attract the falcon to come and fly close up to me. When I'm swinging the lure, I don't like to keep tight hold of this string. I like this to be able to slide through my fingers. So don't grab hold of this really tightly. A nice loose grip. And when I swing, I'm not swinging really fast like that. I like to swing it as slow as possible. What this means is if I get my timing slightly messed up, if the falcon comes in a little bit too fast, I always have the ability to quickly speed up a swing so that I can get that lure thrown out. If you're already swinging it as fast as you possibly can and you get your timings mixed up, there's not a lot you can do about it. So nice and slowly. And you can see as my hand can glide all around the line. I'm not holding it tightly. A nice slow swing with a loose hand. So the first step is you just have to get used to swinging the lure. Keep it going, keep that momentum going. Just stand there and get used to swinging it around your body without going really fast or so slow that it just starts dropping on you like that. So a nice slow swing, but keep its momentum going. The next thing we have to do is you have to be able to spin around whilst controlling your lure. Your falcon is going to be up in the air and it's going to be flying all around you. And you have to be able to face the falcon and throw that lure out no matter which direction she comes from. So we have to be able to spin around while still swinging the lure. And that can take quite a bit of practice. And back the other way. But as you'll notice, I tried really hard not to speed up my swinging. What you will find out is once you start to try and spin around for the first ever time, it can be quite difficult to keep its momentum going, and you might have to start to speed up. Try to avoid doing that. You need to get good at spinning around and following whichever direction your falcon will be coming from with a nice slow swing. Resist the temptation to speed your lure up. So we've got a nice slow swing, we can spin around with the lure. Now it's time to start looking at passes. There are several different types of passes that you can do, and I would recommend that for a beginner you just focus on a left-handed pass. It's where you bring the lure around your body. That's what I'm going to be going over today in this video. There is also a right-handed pass where you go the opposite way around, and there are ground passes and overhead passes where you throw the lure up in the air and then swing it back around. However, the safest and easiest one to learn is the left-handed pass. Some people might say that you need to learn multiple passes so that your falcon doesn't catch you out. However, I tend to only ever do the left-handed passes, and my falcons don't catch me out, and it still makes them think and fly to the best of their ability. The danger with trying to do other passes is that you can start to damage your training with the falcon. If you start doing right-handed passes, the danger is if you don't do it right, you bring that lure really close to your body. If you're passing a falcon and your lure is really close to your body, what you're going to do is train the falcon to fly close to you. And that can be really dangerous. If your falcon can stoop down at you at over 100 miles an hour and it's been trained to fly close to you, there could be a collision, and that will be fatal for your falcon. Whereas the left-handed pass, it keeps that lure nice and far away from our bodies. It's the safest one to do. With the overhead pass, I would leave that until you're more experienced as well, because the danger with that is that you can force your falcon to the ground and make it learn to fly low down. You have to have the wind coming from behind you to do an overhead pass. If the wind is not coming from behind you, and you do that overhead pass, your falcon won't be able to get up to get it, and so she will go down instead. If you've got that wind coming from behind you, then it will push that falcon up, and it does allow them to gain a lot of height. But leave that until you're more experienced. So today, we're going to go over the left-handed pass. And I'm going to break it down into several different steps. First step that you have to achieve whilst doing a left-handed pass is just to throw it out in front of your body. Now, I like to take a step forwards when I do a left-handed pass to really help me to throw it out. The entire point of this is to keep that lure pad nice and far away from your body. When I do throw it out in front of me, I bring my left and my right hand together so that it gets the full length of this lure line all the way in front of me. Just like that. One more time. All the way in front of me. Once you've done that, the next step is to start to spin, to bring it around your body. It's called a pass. We want the falcon to pass around us. And we don't want the falcon to go over the top of us or nice and close to us. We want the falcon to take a nice wide berth around us. So that's why we bring our left and right hand all the way together to keep that long line nice and far away from us. So we go hands together, forwards and round. Like that. And you should be able to get that lure pad almost 180 degrees round the other way before you even have to separate your left and right hand. So once we've got that down, we can throw the lure in front of us, bring our left and right hand together, spin it around our body and have it land 180 degrees behind us. That's when you have to pull your left hand away from your right hand to keep the lure swing's momentum going so it doesn't just land on the floor. And that looks like this. And that is a left-handed pass. I'll do it to the side. You see, the entire time that lure pad is kept as far away from my body as possible so that falcon doesn't have to fly close to me. Next up, how do you pass the lure to the falcon to finish the flight? There are multiple different ways of doing this, and it kind of depends what you want to be doing with your falcon as to how this is done. If you're a hunting falconer, you'll likely just drop the lure onto the floor and keep hold of the handle so that the falcon will come down and take the lure and stay nice and close to you. With me, as I do displays, I like to chuck the lure up into the air for the falcon. I also completely let go of my lure handle when I do this. And the reason for that is because in displays my falcons can be flying over 100 miles an hour. If I chuck that lure up in the air and they grab it and I keep hold of this, when they hit the full length of this line, it could twang and then they'll twang down to the floor and it could damage their hips. So I've got a weighted lure handle. It's really heavy and the falcons can't fly off with it. So I can throw my lure up in the air, the falcon can catch it, and then the lure handle will gently bring the falcon down to the ground. So something you need to practice to be able to bring your falcon in is throwing your lure all the way up into the air. To do that, first, as the falcon's coming in, I have to let go of all of this line that I've got bundled up around my fingers. And what I'm trying to achieve is to have the lure go all the way up in the air and have the line in a nice straight, long line. I don't want to throw it too high up so that it twangs back down, and I don't want to throw it too low down so that all the line isn't fully unravelled. Just a nice straight line up into the air for the falcon to grab. Like that. So you've swung the lure, you've done some passes, and then you've chucked it up into the air and the falcon has caught it. She's eaten her food and you've made in and picked her up. How do you then wind up your lure with just one hand and prevent it from getting tangled up? Now, I like to hook mine over my little finger. So if you imagine I'm holding the bird on this hand, I can hook it on the little finger and that allows me to hold some tension on it. And to wind it up, I hold it in front of me like this. The bottom end goes away from me and back towards me over the top. This end now that's facing away from me goes underneath and over and under. You have to make sure that you're also spinning the lure handle whilst doing so. Otherwise, you end up with a nice looking pattern, but it will get tangled up. Just like that. It is so important that you learn how to swing a lure properly before you get or start flying a falcon. You need to find somebody who is more experienced who can teach you how to do it. The safety of our birds is our priority, and when you've got a bird that can fly at over 100 miles an hour, swinging a lure can be quite a dangerous thing if you don't know how to do it properly, so you have to learn. You also need to be able to do these passes without even thinking about them. The most difficult part about flying a falcon, in my opinion, is timings. Getting the timing right to throw that lure out to do that pass. If you're flying a falcon and you have to think about how to do a pass whilst doing it, then you're not going to be able to focus on your timings and what the bird is doing. It has to be natural, and you have to be able to just get it done so that you can focus on the bird. Some of the most important aspects of swinging a lure for a falcon is timing and accuracy. Timing your pass is really important, and I have a couple clips to show you about what happens if you get your timing slightly off. In this clip, the peregrine was using the sun. She flew with the sun directly behind her at me, so I was facing it, and I couldn't really see what was going on. So I had to completely guess about when to do my pass, and I did it too early. Now, as you can see, because I do the pass too early, I swing it around my body and she's got nothing to go for, so she ends up going the other way around me. And the danger of that is that she then comes quite close to me, and if she really wanted to, she could have caught me out. In this next clip, I do a pass slightly too late, and she does end up catching it. I throw the pass out too late and the lure pad goes straight into her feet and she's caught it. Now, on the rare occasion that that does happen, I always let the falcon have the lure. I don't want to be letting the falcon hit that lure thinking she's caught it and then continue to make her fly, because then she might start to think, what's the point in ever coming back for that if it's just going to be pulled away from me whenever I grab it. So if they catch you out, always make sure you give them that lure. They've worked hard for it and it's their reward. So timing is really important, but it's not really something that you can practice. It's kind of one of those things that you just have to learn whilst doing it. However, accuracy you can practice, and I'm going to show you how. So here I've set up 4 perches and I've put cups on top of them all. What I'm going to try and do is make my way around in a circle and knock the cups off with my lure. Now, as I've just said with timings, you don't want to be hitting the falcon with the lure, but this does just help you to build up that accuracy. Swinging a lure for falcons is one of my favourite things about owning birds of prey. So if you would like a falcon or you're getting a falcon, it's really important that you learn how to do this properly. It can be so much fun. So to finish off, I'm just going to show you a bit of footage of me flying the peregrine around and some clips from Sky doing a display. If you've enjoyed this video, then please subscribe, it helps us out. We've had such a good first year for this channel. We just hit 2,500 subscribers and I got 280,000 views in just the first year. And that's thanks to people like you for watching these videos. So please keep it up, hit the like button, leave me a comment and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.